We're doing an hour on parasites. These little creatures that live inside us invisibly and yet can have a huge influence over who we think we are.
What is a parasite precisely?
A moocher. And just to sort of slide us in, get us into the mood,
I'm already not in the mood.
we thought we would get things started.
Maybe I'll just move this.
Okay.
No, I don't want
Well, there really is no other way to start a show on parasites except with this guy.
You should introduce yourself.
My name is Carl Zimmer.
Carl's a science writer,
Yeah.
and parasites have been on his radar ever since he was a little boy.
I grew up on a little farm, and my mother would raise tomatoes sometimes in her vegetable garden. And sometimes there would be these caterpillars feeding on them, and my mom would be very annoyed. And every now and then I would notice that some of them didn't look very well, and they had this little sort of fuzzy white bumps on them. And I didn't really know what they were. Well, it turned out that they had been attacked by a parasitic wasp, which had laid its eggs inside of it. Those eggs had hatched and had become larvae. And those larvae were swimming around inside that caterpillar while it was eating my mother's tomatoes. And they were growing.
Growing inside the caterpillar.
And then finally, when they were ready, they came out. And only then did their host die.
And when he finally found out that that is what was happening inside those fuzzy white bumps,
This profound situation.
this whole universe of babies growing into adolescence,
That's when I guess I sort of got very hooked.
which is probably an understatement because you are sort of like capital P parasite man. And if you look
Yeah?
in the New York Times or Science Magazine or any of the places Carl writes, a suspicious number of his articles are pretty flattering to parasites.
People have been dismissing parasites for a long time, calling them degenerates. Now, I would argue that parasites are not degenerate. They have gained the ability to live inside 3, 4, 5, 6 different species.
So do you find that you're a lawyer for them? Hey, sir, you call this degenerate. How dare you, sir, say that?
I think I'm a defender of all neglected and put upon species out there.
Why wouldn't a parasite be what I think you mean when you say degenerate? Because the tiny little thing, it infects something else, it sucks whatever.
It's not independent.
Right. So when you say it's not degenerate, what do you say that?
Well, let's start with saying it's not independent. Are any of us independent?
Kit Carson.
If you stripped all the bacteria out of Kit Carson would get very sick.
Daniel Boone, on the other hand. Now there's a guy. Independent, alone in the woods.
What does Daniel Boone eat?
I guess Daniel Boone eats pigeon like the rest of us.
What's your point, Carl Zimmer?
My point is that Daniel Boone eats meat. He ate bread, which came from plants.
Well, it's a question of degrees, though. We're not living inside the intestinal tract of some other creature.
So why does living inside seem like it's a degenerate thing as opposed to us? You know, we can't even synthesize a lot of our own vitamins anymore. We're degenerates in a lot of ways.
No, Carl.
Right.
No, Carl. If you are a creature that lives off someone else's
Yes.
vitality.
Cheaters would
Cheaters.
be another way of putting it.
But listen, can you appreciate how
and I'm
hard
just
it
going to
is
cut this short right here. Carl says no.
No, they're amazing.
Time and time again, he says no.
No.
And the argument went on.
Still waiting to hear about how you are able to photosynthesize
It's
yourself.
true, I eat
you
plants that do it for me, but I go about it in a manful way.
you can't even do it yourself.
Like I said, the
You
argument
eat-
went on and
you
on
eat
with Robert
plants
saying
that are
one thing
photosynthesized.
and Carl firing back and me adding another. And here's what we're going to do. Just to be fair and square about this, we're going to bring in an independent moderator. Lulu!
Yeah?
Come. You're going to be the moderator. Yeah, you get that mic right there.
Test.
You're going to be the moderator, and you listening right now, we will leave it to you, your decision, in this one lightning round of... Go ahead.
Shall I do? Okay.
Yeah.
Parasites. Are they evil or are they awesome?